Hey guys, and welcome back to Mahanathon. This is my 36-week bump date. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mahanathon. This is my 36-week bump date. Now right now I'm officially 37 weeks, but believe me, I have an excuse for not filming. As you can see, I'm filming from our new nursery, which is officially completed. Don't forget to check out my 37-week bump date, where I will introduce you to our nursery and give you a full tour. Let's start with the update on baby at 36 weeks. At 36 weeks, my baby was supposed to weigh about 5.8 pounds and measure about 18.5 inches. Now, at 36 weeks, we were able to have an ultrasound, and we found out that our baby is actually 5.5 pounds at the moment, and we're not sure about his height because he was all curled up. He was absolutely adorable. We actually were able to see his full face, and Nick and I could not believe it. It was incredible. So the 36th week started with a bunch of drama. First, we visited my OB. At my OB appointment, my OB actually said that she thought that our baby was breech from the look of my uterus. So she recommended that we get an ultrasound right away to determine his actual position. So the plan was to get an ultrasound, determine whether or not he was breech, and if he was, I would have to get an external cephalic version, which basically means that he would have to be physically moved into the head down position. Now this is a procedure that is not comfortable for mommies at all, so at once I was really nervous. We let our family know that it might not be successful and that I may have to have a C-section. So at 36 weeks, I ended up having an ultrasound, and lo and behold, he actually ended up moving into the head down position all on his own. We were so happy. During this appointment, we found out that our baby actually weighs about 5.5 pounds and that he has super chubby cheeks, very long limbs, which is no surprise for us, huge feet and hands, and he was grimacing. He looked so mad in the ultrasound. It was absolutely hilarious. And Nick and I thought it was such an incredible experience. We have a printout that we will be showing you guys shortly. So you're probably thinking that I avoided the drama at 36 weeks. Well, not so. I could not believe it, but a couple of days later, I started experiencing what I have been experiencing for a couple of months now, and those were Braxton Hicks. For you non-mommies out there, you may not know that Braxton Hicks are basically your body's way of getting you to practice for real labor. And what it means is that your uterus ends up clenching itself and contracting in practice for real labor. So I thought that's what I was experiencing at first. So it was nighttime and I started experiencing these intense Braxton Hicks contractions. So of course Nick thought that I should probably lie down and take it easy, so that's exactly what I did. Unfortunately, these Braxton Hicks contractions continued throughout the night, so I got absolutely no sleep. And by the time I woke up, I was covered in sweat. Now that night Nick was actually talking to me from his location at work, so I was all by myself. So I kind of had to deal by myself, which was a little bit scary. When I got out of the shower that morning, however, I noticed something was very wrong. I was completely sweaty, I was shaking, and I could not stop having contractions. So at that point, I ended up staying in the bathroom, and this may be TMI for some of you, but I ended up losing the majority of my mucus plug. At this point, Nick was home as he was on nights and he was sleeping in bed, so I thought it would be best if I woke him up at, I think I woke him up at about noon after going through this for 3 hours. And I told him basically what was happening, and he got up right away and we started timing the contractions. Now, as many of you know, False labor is extremely common, especially in first-time pregnant people, and I definitely thought this is what was happening. I figured the Braxton Hicks were just getting more intense because I was further along in my pregnancy, so I wasn't too stressed about it, minus the stress that I was feeling because of the pain. However, after Nick decided to measure the contractions, we found out that they were becoming closer and closer together to the point where they were 5 minutes apart. And as some of you probably have guessed, that is exactly when you're supposed to go to the hospital because it can indicate real labor. So here I was in the bathroom experiencing these intense contractions every 5 minutes. So we decided that it would be best if we notified our family. Unfortunately, the only person that we could actually notify was Nick's mom. Everybody else was AWOL, so that was interesting. So we made a plan to call our local hospital where I will be delivering when it is time. And we made an appointment over the phone to speak to a nurse to determine whether we should go in. So at this point, I was completely adamant that I was staying home. I was in denial. Even though my contractions were 5 minutes apart, I was sweating profusely, I was naked in the bathroom, and I was spotting. I was determined not to have that baby. So Nick got a nurse on the phone from the Queens of Carleton Hospital, and she was absolutely amazing. She actually said that this can happen, especially when women get super dehydrated at the end of their pregnancies, and not to worry. However, she recommended that we pack our entire hospital bag and everything we needed for the hospital and come in within 15 minutes. So I was freaking out. After the nurse said that, Nick packed all of our stuff into the car in lightning speed. Meanwhile, I was lying in bed in pain and very, very confused. So the nurse on the phone actually said that I had one more option before I had to come in, and that was to chug a huge glass of apple juice and then some ice water to determine whether my baby was still being active in utero. So she said if he is active and I felt like I was not in labor, that I could stay home. However, if I didn't feel any kicks, I had no choice but to go to the hospital. So at this point, I chugged some apple juice, had some ice water, and I prayed to the goddesses that I would feel my baby kick because I was not ready to deliver my baby at 36 weeks. So Nick was waiting at the front door with our bags already in the car. We had a babysitter for the dogs, and my nursery was not officially complete or Pinterest ready. Things were not done. So I was feeling extremely nervous. It was intense. Again, I was just writhing in pain, and I was chugging this apple juice and hoping and praying that I would feel my baby. So I drank the apple juice, and about 45 minutes later, I felt the baby kick, and then he went crazy. He just kicked and punched, and I was like, yes, this feels horrible, but I am not going to the hospital. I am not in labor. So I laid down, and I ended up staying in bed for the majority of the night, and the contractions subsided considerably. Now they're still occurring at 37 weeks. Don't forget to check out my 37-week bump date, but they are not as consistent. So that makes me a little happier and a little bit less stressed. So while we didn't end up going to the hospital, we are now on official watch for this baby, and we know that he's going to be coming fairly soon. Well, that's it for my 36-week bump day. Don't forget to check out my 36-week bumpy that I've included at the end of this video. I've definitely gotten larger. I wonder if I'll even get to the 38-week bump date. I'm not so certain at this point. Don't forget to check out my 37-week bump date. I'll be recording that in the next couple of days because I definitely know I can't put that one off. And if you're looking for some more information about where I got some of the things in my nursery, don't hesitate to contact me. I will be doing the nursery tour in my next video. So stay tuned, guys. We're officially on baby watch. We don't know when he's going to be here yet. I'm actually getting a contraction right now, so I am going to talk to you guys later. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Mahanathon, and I'll talk to you as soon as I can.